the UN General Assembly voted to provide Palestinians an enhanced membership in the UN, enhanced from where they're at. At this point, they have a sort of an observational membership to the UN. They don't have a vote. This vote at the UN Assembly was to basically enhance the rights that the Palestinians had in the context of the UN. It is the General Assembly, so it does not have the binding force of the UN that something passing through the Security Council does, but it does increase pressure on the Security Council. It does create some type of political pressure. Here is the United Nations Israel rep, Gilad Erdan, speaking out against this new resolution, and he's brought props. I don't know if everybody was handed a smock beforehand.
That's not in this clip, but
we don't have that?
Well, we do have it. We can do both, but this is a separate part.
His remarks prior, and then we'll
All right, let's hear the remarks, and then we'll look at the props.
Thank you, Mr. President. Over 85 years ago, as World War II began, a force of sheer evil rose up with the goal of dominating the planet through genocide and destruction. After Hitler's rise to power, the Nazis sought to subjugate humanity under their iron fist while annihilating the Jewish people, but not only us, all those who they deemed subhuman. But in the face of this genocidal plot, the forces of good came together in order to end this horror, to return freedom and peace to the world. And following the Allies' victory, this institution here, the United Nations, was founded with the mission of ensuring such tyranny never raises its ugly head again, never. Today, you are about to do the exact opposite and advance the establishment of a Palestinian terror state, which will be led by the Hitler of our times. The Hitler of our times.
Netanyahu?
In the 1940s, the world united to destroy.
I mean, this is such
disgusting.
It's such an assault on history, on reality. You know what Hitler also did was he said to European countries, look, you're not taking any of these refugees that we're creating in terms of these Jews. So we're going to have to do something to deal with them.
Yeah.
Why aren't you taking them?
You could call it voluntary displacement.
Countries. You're all white countries. Why aren't you taking some of your fellow Caucasians?
Mm-hmm.
The idea that Hamas has world ambitions to take over the world is just absurd. The idea that Hitler was part of a cohort of people that were occupied by another far greater power is also absurd. I mean, everything he's talking about here is just a complete distortion of this history.
It's extremely dangerous, as we've been saying, to distort the political realities that led to the Holocaust, one of the worst crimes ever committed by humanity, so you can commit your own genocide. It is so twisted, it's hard to even describe. And he's not even talking about Hamas here, Sam. He's talking about the Palestinian Authority as like the leader of that being the Hitler of our time? Or is it the guy who's invoking Amalek and has now been responsible for the killing of tens of thousands of children at this point, and 3,500 people that we know of, and it's probably we know it's much, much higher than that.
Well, I mean, the bottom line is it's neither guy. Like, neither one of them are Hitlers. One of them is is leading an army that is killing tens of thousands of people, though.
Right.
One of them sits atop an incredibly powerful country and arsenal. One of them has control over millions of people who have no rights as a citizen. That there's one of them. I don't know if he's Hitler, but
by God, let's hope he's not. Let's force him not to be, even, because then we would, learning a lesson from the Holocaust is saying never again for anybody.
Exactly.
Keep going.
Let's let this guy play it.
A murderous regime. Yet today, with sick and twisted irony, the very body established to prevent evil is now welcoming a terror state into its ranks. What would Churchill say if he were alive today? What would Roosevelt think? They are turning in their graves, This week, only this week, Israel commemorated Yom HaShoah, Holocaust Remembrance Day. And it is during our sacred week that this shameless body has chosen to reward modern-day Nazis with rights and privileges. As Israelis mourn the Jewish babies burned in the crematoria, you here at the UN usher in the collaborators of the Israeli babies burned on October 7th. How can you be so blind? Is it your political interest? Are these your distorted values? Are you being threatened by diplomatic terror of the Palestinians and their collaborators? There are many here.
I mean, him saying you want to give Nazis rights? You want to give Nazis rights? He's referring to every Palestinian as Nazis there. And this is in keeping with the story it's just people should know this. That Netanyahu has said that Hitler got the idea for exterminating the Jews from the Palestinian Grand Mufti. That is a conspiracy theory. It is a lie. But it's a way to demonize the people that they're subjugating and dehumanize them. And this was the moment that we were referring to earlier, Sam, with the prop, where he brought a paper shredder out.
So today, I will hold up a mirror for you. A mirror. This is your mirror. So that you can see exactly what you are inflicting upon the UN Charter with this destructive vote. This is
that the UN Charter?
You are shredding the UN Charter.
Pretty small, I think.
With your own hands.
Oh, there it is. No, it looks like you're doing it.
That's what you're doing. Shredding the UN Charter.
Okay.
Shame on you. Thank you, Mr. President.
I don't know. Didn't have the impact I thought it would. I feel like you might have just gotten away with saying you're shredding the charter. You're literally shredding it. Not let me bring out the smallest possible version of a shredding machine and the smallest possible version of the UN Charter and do it.
And do that, and it's like pathetic little whirring as if it's doing anything. It sounds like a child's toy winding up. But anyway, I'm gonna bring out whatever. The point is just like this is just in crazy propaganda, crazy, insane.
Flockhart on the IM says, "What is this? A charter for ants?"
Yep. Yeah. Man. I know. And when he says, like, how can you be so blind? It's just like, I mean,
there's a quality of like, sometimes like, you walk into a sort of a room and you're like, man, everybody here is crazy.
Yes.
Every single person here is crazy. I'm the only sane person. It's so crazy that out of 100 people in this room, I'm the only sane one.
It's so odd. It's like that friend that you have that is constantly in like relationship dramas. And they're breaking up with people and they can't maintain a relationship. And you're like, okay, well, maybe just look a little bit inward. I don't know. It could be helpful. It could be helpful.
Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.